The Joe Rogan Experience.
And do you think one of the motivating factors would be the price of healthcare, that the argument would be part of our issue with healthcare and an incredible amount of money that needs to be spent on hospitalizing people and treating them with diseases? We could eliminate that.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So at the moment, when you talk to any people, any elected representatives anyway, of any persuasion about the aging question, then their immediate knee-jerk reaction is always, oh God, we definitely don't want to fix that. How would we pay the pensions, right? Because they obviously then know it's the economy, stupid, right? It still is,
yes.
Right? And so that's the first thing they think. And the fact is, you're not going to be able to get away with that kind of thinking anymore. It's going to have to be a case of redesigning a large number of really big parts of the economy from the ground up.
Well, especially places like where you live in England, or where you're from, rather, in England, where they have socialized medicine. The enormous cost of that would be decreased radically if people were healthier.
It's got nothing to do with private versus socialized medicine.
It's just medicine.
Yeah. In the US and the UK and everywhere else, the overwhelming majority of medical expenditure is on the health problems of the elderly, which will go away. Now, of course, the medicine that makes those problems go away is not going to be free,
right.
I mean, to produce and to deliver. But prevention is always better than cure. But that actually is only a minority of the economic benefit. The real economic benefit comes from the indirect costs. First of all, the fact that the kids of the elderly are going to be more productive because they're not having to spend time looking after their sick parents and, related things like that. But also the huge thing that the elderly themselves are still going to be able-bodied and therefore in a position to, continue to contribute wealth to society.
Right.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to do with the retirement age. This comes back to another aspect of the interaction between emerging technologies. So, of course, we've got automation coming. I don't work on it anymore, but lots of people do, right? We're making huge progress in artificial intelligence, and most people, even conservative commentators, say that most of the jobs that exist today are going to be gone 20 years from now, because machines will be doing the things perfectly well. So, we're going to be completely unable to continue this system of an economy based on full employment. Last time this happened with the Industrial Revolution, we got away with it by inventing an entire new sector, the service sector that replaced all the jobs that people didn't have anymore in manufacturing and agriculture. It's not going to happen this time. It's just not going to happen. How many people do you need in the entertainment industry? We've got you. Come on. So we're going to have a different. Of course, people are still already thinking about that with things like, universal basic income.
Yes.
Which is an extraordinarily blunt instrument. It's just a starting point. But, that kind of thing is going to happen. I can totally imagine a situation in which, 30, 40 years from now, work is something like national service used to be, or conscription.
Yes.
Yeah, where when you're young and insignificant, you do a few years of actual work, and then you. But that means that the whole concept of pensions is ridiculous to think about that. So we've got to get policymakers out of that mindset and to get them to think in more global terms about the health benefits and the benefits to quality of life of everybody and so on.
It is funny that work, or the concept of work, is sort of inexorably connected to society to the point where you think you have to work. But, meanwhile, people lived for hundreds of thousands of years without even the concept of that. Like a place where you go where they give you gold coins.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, of course, you do have to have something that makes something that fulfills, something to do that you find fulfilling.
That's the argument for universal basic income, right? The argument against it is human nature, that people need to be motivated and they need something to sort of guide them towards excellence.
Yeah, my take is the only thing that needs is better education. Which, of course, is something that we could spend the money on, that we save from not having to.
You are a glass half full guy.
Well, I don't know anybody well-educated who gets bored,
Yeah, I agree with you. Or anybody who's been exposed to interesting things.
Right. Yeah,
there are so many things in this world. I mean, I would love to live 5 different lives concurrently. I would love to.
That's the plan.
I would love to.
But they don't have to be concurrent. They can be
I want
sequential.
to just dive into I would love to live different lives, because there's so many different things that I would have loved to pursue.
Well, you can't live them concurrently because you've only got one brain, but let's try and make you live them sequentially instead.
Yeah, well, sequentially would be fun. I mean, it would be really interesting to take up a whole new career at 70, you know? And so this 3 to 5 year timeline, what makes you think that 3 to 5 years from now is when all this stuff will take place?
Well, of course, it's subjective.
Yes.
It's based on aggregating a whole bunch of different areas of research. But of course, I'm fairly well informed about where research currently is and how rapidly it's moving in a variety of different areas. And so just I'm putting all that together in my head and I'm saying, how soon are we going to be able to take mice that normally live, let's say, 2.5 years and do nothing whatsoever to them until they are 1.5 and get them to, on average, live to 4 instead of 2.5, right? Now, if you can, and of course, those extra years would be healthy years because we would be rejuvenating the mice, right? So I believe that would be sufficient. And that's actually a little bit conservative. I think a less dramatic breakthrough than that might be enough to switch most of my colleagues over, get them over the fence. But I think that would definitely be enough. And I think that is close.